Hello, hello, guys. Yes, it's time for more Morrowind. Now, if memory serves, last time we were about to try to become the Hortator, the war leader of House Redoran. We've already done Nerevarine of the Four Tribes, and we are the Hortator of House Telvanni after some liberal application of, let's see. Huh, how strange. Oh, wait. I have been named Hortator of House Telvanni by the surviving counselors of that house. Yes, we stabbed some people. Because, you know, that's how you get people to follow you in politics. You stab them until they capitulate. That is why once Caesar was stabbed, everyone agreed that the Roman Republic would continue forever. Or something.
I suppose we can talk. What do you want?
Right, so essentially what I've been, I went around looking, and apparently the way you're supposed to do this is that you just try all of the counselors, and, well, effectively this guy is just gonna be the only one who will pay attention to you. So, Redoran Hortator. That's a title given to a war leader among the great houses. Why are you interested? Tell your story and ask to be confirmed as a Hortator. You have told a remarkable story. It has the ring of truth. You may have been deceived, but I believe you. I may be able to persuade other counselors to believe you as well, but a condition of my support, I require a favor. Rescue my son, Bardvor Sarithi, from the Venum Manor. Yes, my son. He is being held in Venum Manor, which is the first manor on your right when you enter Scar. Scar is the name of the giant crab that they built their houses in for some reason. I have heard Baldwin Venum is keeping him in the right wing of his manor. You must be careful not to kill Baldwin Venum himself, or the other counselors will turn against you. Who is Baldwin Venum? He is a strong leader and has done great things for House Redoran. How can I explain the hold he has over the hearts of the Redoran people? He brought us back from certain defeat, he moved the council here to Vardenfell, and took our share of the frontier lands. He is a natural leader, born to rule. One only wishes he was just and fair as well as strong. Oh dear. Offer training? No, especially not to a dark elf, says the dark elf that I'm looking at. Ah well. There is a problem with this, though. I have no mana left. I'll sacrifice one of my mana potions because, well, this is a show after all. It needs to be at least somewhat engaging to watch. Guessing Venum, that would be here. Yes. Yeah, this will go well. Hello. I'm trying to find a hostage you have. That's none of your business, Outlander.
May you find all that you seek.
How rude. You must tell me. Oh, he'll say the same thing. So will he... Hello, Hudson.
May I help you?
Welcome to Alrune, Diomedes. New here? If so, I can tell you what services, yada yada yada. Oh, this'll be
Please,
good.
go ahead, Outlander. I'm listening.
Tell me about the hostage you've taken. That's none of your business. Rude. What if I give you 10 gold? Twice. Now tell me. None of my business. Huh? Well. Right. Now I'm going to go with a radical assumption, right? I think that when I get the hostage out, the guards will not be happy.
Welcome, Outlander.
So let's try. What's this note? Malsa, keep our special guest in the room behind the tapestry. Make sure the door is locked and that he is under guard at all times. If he escapes, I will blame you. B. Guess you're being blamed, lol. Hello, I'm the streamer.
Actions precede you, Outlander.
Did my father send you? Are you here to rescue me? Should we travel together back to Zarethi Manor? Baldwin Venum. He's the one who had me secretly arrested. I think he was going to use me against my father. I'd stay away from him if I were you. Oh, we will not be doing that. I'm Bardwood. Did my father send you? Can we get out of here? You are in Venom Manor. Well, travel together. Follow me. Take me to my father. I'm not seeing how this works. Yeah, you've got your blueberry scented candle. You've got your wooden fork and a giant egg. And what I presume to be a shit bucket. It has been emptied recently. Right. I'm just gonna magic me up a spear. Because part of me is
Now you die!
oh, that's I got reported for a crime. I guess because she was attacking him. Spear.
How wonderful. Welcome, Outlander.
What? Okay, yeah, that's definitely working the way it's supposed to. I'm whistling internally. Well, he doesn't appear to be a guard. By the way, I absolutely love how little those guys could do to me. I do have a ton of health, but well done, the healing amulet that I made. Well, see you later, I guess. Wow. Next time, keep your, absolutely essential hostage with more than 3 guards. Because you never know, maybe someday one fashionable motherfucker's gonna show up with a magical spear and kill them all. All 3 of them. Arethi, Sarathi.
Hello. Thank you.
Do you need something, Outlander?
Talk to my father.
I
Yes, my son, Bardavor Sarathi. You have returned him to me, and I am in your debt. You have rescued my son, and I am forever in your debt. Now make me Hortator. You've rescued my son. Words cannot express my gratitude. Therefore I name you Hortator of House Redoran. I also promise that I will use my influence with the other counselors of House Redoran. Alas, there is one obstacle. Baldwin Venum will never name an outlander Hortator. But if you have the full support of the council, he may agree to an honorable duel. The duel is an honorable tradition dating back at least to the founding of Restain, that's Morrowind. Each party to the duel makes an agreement as to the compensation that will be given to the winner. The loser is legally bound to this agreement. Most duels are fought until one party admits defeat or falls in battle. The duel to the death is less common and only ends when one party is dead. Makes sense. The winner of the duel may take what he wants of the loser's possessions, but some consider this dishonorable. Tell me more about Baldwin Venum now that the situation has changed. If any other counselor were killed or murdered, the other counselors would refuse to name you Hortator. But Venum is tyrannical and unjust, and if he were to die in a duel or a fair fight, no counselor would find dishonor in it, I guarantee it. In fact, if Venum dies an honorable death, I promise I will continue to plead your case with the other counselors. Neat. Yes, you rescued my son, haven't forgotten. Right, so I'm not 100% clear on it, but I'm just gonna go around to the other houses and see. Ramoran.
I suppose we can talk. Your actions. Your
Is this
actions
noble
seem to-
family? Don't worry guys, I'm just looking around. Definitely not stealing things.
I suppose we can talk. What do you want?
I want to get past you. Someone eating ash yam. That's how you know they are not true Dunma.
There is someone watching me.
Alright, Mr.
Tell me what you
Ramoran.
want.
I am Laran Ramoran, Lord of the West Gash and a counselor of House Redoran. Who exactly are you? Athen Sarathi has spoken of your good judgment, and I trust him. I will vote for you as Hortator of House Redoran. Neat. I haven't been in here before, so I guess I'll take a look around. Just, you know, I'm a tourist. Gotta get my selfies next to your possessions. The Lives of the Saints. Sounds like a good stealth title for a work of pornography.
I suppose we can talk. What do you want? Your actions precede you, Outlander. I've heard good things about you.
Okay. Hello, Diomedes. I was happy to hear that Councillor Sarathi has given you his support for the title of Hortator. This conflict between house policy and temple doctrine is unfortunate, and I hope it is resolved swiftly. Now, how can I help you? Are you looking for someone in particular, etc., etc.? Basically, just giving me a bunch of links to click on for basic information. Just curious. Oh. That's not worth it. Alright, I guess we're done there. Ramoran, Sarathi have already named me. Then there's Lethe.
Hello.
Do you need something, Outlander?
Okay, that's making a little more sense now. The whole introduction about they're happy that the conflict between the temple and or they're happy it was named Hortator because it was very awkward otherwise. That's just a generic opener.
Things about
As a counselor of House Redoran, I'm a very busy man. I hope this is important. What is House Redoran? Oh. I spoke with Athen Sarathi. I like what he told me about you. You get things done, show good judgment. Your story is crazy, but your story doesn't matter to me so long as you can do something about Dagath-ur and his servants. I'm making you my choice for Hortator of House Redoran. Sorry, Mitt Romney. Right. That's... Okay, she doesn't have anything about it to tell me.
Tell me.
How's that tree growing indoors? That's a big pot, and yet it seems like it would be very small for, well, a tree of that size.
Do you need something?
Trying to find Councilman Nerevarine, please direct me to him.
Do you need something, Outlander? How much? Hello?
Just ignore her.
Do you need something, Outlander?
Tell me what you want.
She had nothing to say. Hello, Minor Robar. You must explain why you have come here, and quickly. No speeches or excuses. Use your words with care, for I am a counselor of House Redoran, and a very busy man with many duties and responsibilities. I'm not one to stand about idly while others chatter on and on about the most trivial of subjects. That's the writing style of r/I am very smart. I have spoken with Athen Sarathi. He believes your story and says you can be trusted. I have known Athen Sarathi since he was a child, and I have absolute faith in his judgment. Please accept my apologies for not seeking you out and accepting you at once. Forgive me also for believing these rumors about you being an Imperial spy. You have my vote. Minor Robar is hereby confirms Diomedes as Hortator of House Redrun. Tell the other counselors that I have given you my blessings.
Do you need something out there?
Rumors that I'm an Imperial spy, eh? I guess we should go and, just... let's find a bar and ask the patrons if anything interesting is happening in the sphere of current events. Bookseller, pawnbroker, trade house. Tell me about latest rumors. Nothing interesting then.
Yes, Outlander. How do you do?
Share your
Hey, I wonder how the church feels about my activities. Let's ask about False Incarnate. I have heard that you are a False Incarnate. I'm not yet convinced, but I no longer trust you. Okay. Latest rumors. Diomedes, you claim to be the Nerevarine. You defied temple doctrine. The Order of the Watch calls you an agent of the Emperor and an outlaw. You belong to the temple, so we owe you courtesy and a warning, but others may not be so polite and may choose weapons instead of speech. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go outside and actually, well... Basically, there's a very specific note that I'm trying to, obtain. So, I'm gonna go to Vivek. Because that's a great idea, right?
Can I be of service?
Just going to Vivek and asking questions about latest rumors.
Good to see
I
you
must
out
say, I
there.
find you
Searching
most
for
interesting
spells?
right now. Please go ahead.
You'd think she'd be more discreet, seeing as how the Duke's her father, but Ilmeni Dren is a strong-willed young woman, and she hates slavery with a passion. Her family's wealth and influence means nothing to her. She's proud of living in a St. Dylan slum, and she doesn't mind being seen with known abolitionists like that bookseller, Jobasha. Sounds like someone I should probably have a word with. This could be dangerous. Latest rumors. Okay. Asking an ordinator. You're the one they call the Nerevarine. You're a heretic, and all who support you are heretics. You may think Imperial law protects heretics, and you may be right, but some of the Temple faithful care little for Imperial law. Well, well, well.
Praise the living.
What do you want of me, Outlander?
Current events. A secret cult called the Sixth House is killing Outlanders. Nobody knows anything about the cult, but Outlanders keep dying under mysterious circumstances. Latest rumors. Nerevarine.
You seem to be doing all right for yourself. What can I...
What else can I do? Oh man, I will never get tired of this mode of travel. Background. Ordinator. Neat. Well, this should get an interesting reaction if nothing else. Diomedes, you claim to be, yeah. Hello, Pope. Nerevarine. This guy's the Pope of the Temple that I'm trying to overthrow. I'm sorry, but the Temple's doctrine on the Nerevarine is clear. I'm afraid we have nothing to discuss. Temple's doctrine. The Temple's doctrine on the Nerevarine is clear. The Nerevarine prophecies are evil superstitions based on lies and delusions. Attacks on the Temple cannot be tolerated. The people's faith in the tribunal is all that protects us from the hosts of Dagoth-Ur. I don't know about that, dude. I feel like I've killed a fair number of those guys at this point. And your association with the Emperor's intelligence service makes your motivations and integrity suspect. We believe you to be a false incarnate and a danger to the Temple and the Dunmer people, and our ordinators will treat you as the enemy. Any advice? Any rumors?
I see this land suits you.
Oh, well. Now I've tried that. Well, it's unfortunate that I'm not getting the note. Assuming I don't get it after I become the veteran Hortator, then I will have to... Well, I can still look up the text online and read it out to you that way. Sounds like the mail is being delivered.
Why walk when you can ride?
Good day, Outlander. Tell me about rumors. Nerevarine. But basically just checking around to see if anyone will actually have the formation. I'll try the corner club as well. Rumors. Oh well. I guess there's nothing more to it, but except for go back to Alrune and see if you can maybe trigger it by becoming Hortator. I think I have gotten everyone's
Hello?
stamp of approval, let's call it. This is Levrethi Manor, not Sourthy, so I went to the wrong place. We still have one left to go. And if she's the person that I hope she is,
Anything I can do for you?
well, it should be useful. Or rather interesting. She'll send us to a dungeon, if I recall.
I suppose we can talk.
Morvain, that should be her.
Tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want.
I want us to have fuck. No? Damn. I am Brara Morvain, Counselor of House Redoran. Is there something I can do for you? Make me a Hortator. Athin Sarathi says he believes your story and believes you can be trusted. I still have my doubts, especially with these rumors that you're a spy for the Empire, but life cannot be lived without risks. I agree we need a Hortator, and I see no better candidate than you, so let the record show that I confirm you as Hortator of House Redoran. Background. Huh. My husband was a counselor of House Redoran. He died defending our manor from blighted monsters. I now hold his seat on the council. Blighted monsters in my Alrune? It's more likely than you think. Seeing as how I'm not really on good terms with them, I think I'm gonna just have a look at Morvain Manor. Probably gonna need a spear. Well, I found Mr. Morvain. You know, I gotta say, this is a fairly large presence. 36 lessons of Bivec. Various sermons. Someone set up a shrine here. Nerevarine ash statue. I'm guessing that's a quest item. You know, I can't really fully recall if this is a temple or a veteran quest. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. Doesn't seem to be much else here. But yeah, as you can see, the faith of the temple is not doing a whole lot to hold back Dagathur and his minions.
May I help you, Outlander?
Okay. Gindrala Liran says, "Pardon me, but there's a very strange man in my house and he won't leave. Will you get him out of there, please? He's talking to himself, he won't listen to me, he looks very strange, he stares at me funny, and he seems to have lost his shirt. Please get him out of there, he's scaring me." Okay, she hands over the key without asking for confirmation. Oh dear. He put ash statues in the fireplace. That's the one place you shouldn't put them. "You have betrayed Lord Dagoth. Taste his vengeance," says Dreamer. He doesn't have anything
Go ahead.
new to say. Okay, guess I have to taunt him.
You Inma.
I'm just gonna get rid of the ash statues because otherwise, well, I don't think it'll affect the quest, but just as an in-lore thing. And she basically just says thank you for your help.
Walk with virtue, Outlander.
Yep, she doesn't have anything more to say.
Do you need?
Time to say hello to Mr. Venum. Actually, one last thing. No, actually, I think we will have to do Venum now. So let's see if we can find him. Yep, Scrooge McDuck right over here. So, you have the support of all the other counselors for the title of House Redoran Hortator. You've played your tricks with the other counselors, but they will not work on me. This has gone far enough. If you are not a coward as well as a fraud, I will put a stop to your ambitions in the arena in Vivek. I will meet you there if you dare to face me in a duel to the death. Asking him about latest rumors, he says, "These outlanders won't be happy until slavery is outlawed. Now, personally, I don't want any slaves. No one I know has any slaves. But it's our right to have slaves by law and custom. And it's none of their damn business." Funny how many of these types say that.
May I help you, Outlander? Walk.
Right. I guess we're going to Vivek. I know, it's been so long since we were there, all of 8 minutes. Well, someone could have planned that out better. But yeah, House Redoran tends to be the most steadfastly faithful types in Bardenfell. They're also fairly good warriors. The way the Great House Division goes up, it's Lalu for the stealth rogue type characters, and Telvanni for mages, and Veteran for warriors.
Why walk when you can...
Latest rumors. Still nothing about me being a
We make
wanted
a
criminal.
special
Oh, and while we're at it, just gonna put these here and get freaked out by them later. Three blind mice. Trying to remember now how the whole like arena stuff even works. Farman, tell me about latest rumors. Oh well. But yeah, Morrowind, as some of you may know, started with a game called Arena. The idea was that you would have these fighting tournaments all over Tamriel. And they, after a time, they realized it was a lot more fun to do like quests that weren't actually focused on the arena itself, but they retained the title Arena for the first game in the series. Just a second. Ah, yes. So yeah, this guy has a Daedric Daikatana, which is quite powerful. Sadly for him, I have extremely high sneak. Venom Manor key. I'm just gonna be taking that, the shoes, the shirt, the ring, the pants, the belt. Daedric Daikatana. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take your armor as well. He looks lonely. Oh, I know. Let's give you some cancerous flesh to remember me by. That's strange. I'm barely jumping all of a sudden. It's almost like heavy armor is heavy. I guess we can drop it off before we head back to Alrune. So once House Redoran is done, we will... The only remaining thing after that is to become the Hortator of House Lalu, which will be easy, on account of me being, you know, the leader of House Lalu. And after that, we're gonna have another conversation with the religious hierarchy of Morrowind. And that's going to be a fairly big deal. I can reveal to you all that we will be speaking to a god in this episode. But only after we drop off all of this heavy gear. In case you're wondering, I do think I will be using heavy armor, but later on. I think it'll be appropriate for me to bring that stuff along when I inevitably have to go into the citadels of the 6th house. Or at the very least, Red Mountain, and then there's the expansion packs. Got the Amulet of Shadows, Red Book, Holy Slippers can stay here for now. That jumps more like it.
I have a feeling you and I are about to be very close.
Is that a fact?
This is a wondrous encounter.
Time to go to Alrune. We've defeated every bit of opposition. So all that should remain is to go back to Sarethi Manor and to be certified the winner.
Do you need something, Outlander?
Not really.
It's so good to meet you.
The Council of House Veteran is in agreement. You are Hortator of House Veteran. I hope you are as successful in persuading the rest of Morrowind to unite against Daggerthor and his blighted hosts. On behalf of House and Council, take the Ring of the Hortator, a token of your office. By this ring, others shall know you as our chosen champion. I also have a sealed package for you. I do not know what it contains, but I received it from a contact in the highest ranks of the temple. My guess is it has something to do with the temple's position on your claim to fulfill the Nerevarine prophecies. And here's a copy of a recent public notice identifying you as an Imperial agent. I am satisfied of your sincerity, but I warn you that others may not be as understanding. That was the note that I was searching for. First, let's read the public notice. Well, beloved people of Morrowind, take heed, take warning. The outlaw named Diomedes stated trade of Sentinel, lately called Incarnate and Nerevarine, now is shown to the investigating ordinators and magistrates of this district to be an agent in the pay of the Imperial Intelligence Service. I mean, I don't think I got paid all that much, to be fair. This outlaw's claims are false. The prophecies this outlaw cites are discredited. The dishonest character and base purposes of the outlaw in perpetrating this hoax are now made clear to all observers. Diomedes is sought for various crimes by ordinators and town guards. Report all encounters with this outlaw to the proper authorities. If you see this outlaw in public, give the alarm. Oh, and also, we're looking for a guy called J.C. Denton, so please tell us if you see him. Published by the authority of the Temple, the Order of the Watch Magistrates of Ardenfell District, under the signature and authority of Grand Master Beryl Sala, Captain of the Watch, hear and heed. Well, some of that was actually true. A package sealed with an anonymous wax seal containing a single-page, unsigned note. To the Outlander lately proclaiming his identity as the Nerevarine, to be delivered with haste. The assertions made being in direct contradiction of the doctrine of the Temple, namely that you are the Nerevarine, the reincarnation of the sainted Lord Nerevar, are, in addition to being against Temple teaching, incredible and implausible in the extreme. I mean, I've got the fucking ring, like, what do you want from me? The revelations made by the Inquisition, namely, that you yourself are in fact an agent of the Imperial Intelligence Service, otherwise known as the Order of the Blades, lately made with substantial evidence by the Lord High Arch-Ordinator Beryl Sala, further calls into question the validity of and motivations behind your claims. However, as incredible as your claims are, as much as they are in direct contradiction of the teachings of the Temple, and tainted as they are by the inferences to be made upon your close association with the covert politics and the interests of the Emperor, the interests of the Temple and its leadership, and in particular the interests of his immortal lordship Vivek, are best served by a close and personal examination of the claims being made, and close and personal examinations of the motivations and character of the claimant. The Temple, through its examinations of its records, in particular the records of the Hierographa and Apographa, is intimately familiar with the many and varied claims of signs and feats that would mark the Nerevarine according to prophecy. Therefore, in the event of fulfillment of certain of those most remarkable and scarcely credible claims, namely that the claimant should, at one time, be the acknowledged holder of several ancient titles of power and authority of the Dunmer people, to wit, Hortator of the Great Houses and Nerevarine of the Ashlander tribes, the temple proposes that the claimant of the identity of the Nerevarine shall present himself for inspection before his reverend honor, Archcanon Lord Thorla Seironi. That was the guy I was just, like, speaking to not 12 hours before I got this note. Anyway, his titles go on. High Archcanon and Chancellor Vivek, Archcanon of the Canonry of Ardenfell, Archpriest of the High Fane, for a review and consideration of his claims and identity. However, until such a time as the claimant actually has been named Hortator separately and jointly by the three great houses of Ardenfell, and at the same time has been named Nerevarine separately and jointly by the four tribes of the Ashlanders, there is no purpose in reviewing or discussing these claims. Because the temple's official position on the prophecies of the Nerevarine, and in the interest of preserving the security of the claimant from those parties who might wish to do him harm, it is convenient that the claimant of the title of Nerevarine shall present himself in secret to the Archcanon Seironi in the Archcanon's private quarters in the High Fane of Vivek. To signify agreement with these terms and conditions for a meeting with the Archcanon, the Nerevarine claimant may present himself to the healer of the High Fane of Vivek, Danso Indulas, and the necessary arrangements will be made. Once again, no purpose is served by a meeting until the claimant is named Hortator of the three great houses and is named Nerevarine of the four Ashlander tribes. Written at the request of and in the name of His Reverend Honor Thorla Seironi, Archcanon and Chancellor Vivek. Delano Loyan, Priest of Vivek, Assistant to the Archcanon. Right. That was a bit of a mouthful. Always are with priests. I didn't say that aloud, did I? Anyway. So, are you mad at me? Any latest rumors? I guess not. So you might think, what next? Well, we have to become the Hortator of House Lalu, which should be the easiest one. However, it will also have some consequences, but we'll get to those soon enough. First, we must go to Vivek and speak to someone who will be able to name us Hortator.
Searching for spells?
What should we talk about?
Fucking...
What was that about?
It's supposed to be that you hold Alt to push them, and I can't. Well, I'm gonna do two things. First, I'm gonna do something that I will...
Not long now.
That made me feel better. Murder is always an effective form of therapy.
Searching for spells?
Please share your thoughts.
This sort of shit is what should have gotten caught in playtesting. Like, if you can't trust these guys to walk around without making the game unplayable, have them stand still. That's not difficult. You know, it's effectively what they did at Daggerfall. Oh well. So, who in House Lalu will be willing to name us Hortator? Why Crassus Curio, of course. If memory serves, you will ask me to take off my shirt.
Blessed. Truly blessed. Welcome, friend. We extend you our warm regards.
Okay. Crassus Curio's greeting is, I don't have any more business for you, dumpling. But thanks for coming to see poor lonely Uncle Crassius. I told him about the ash statue I found in the ship he sent us to a long time ago. You found an ash statue aboard the ship, dumpling? I knew Belford was a smuggler, but I had no idea he was involved in darker things. A word of advice, my sweet. Avoid these ash statues. They can be dangerous and are of little value. Right. Lalu Hortator. A Hortator is a great house war leader. It's an ancient tradition seldom invoked in modern times. Tell your story and ask to be confirmed as Hortator. You want to be Hortator. A pity. Orvis Dren does not want you to be Hortator, and very few counselors would be willing to risk Sir Dren's approval, or disapproval rather. But your eloquent passion, your exquisite vulnerability move me to risk all, and defy Orvis Dren. Yes, sweetie, I will name you Hortator, but I have something to ask of you. Will you give me a kiss? Fine. He is very happy about this. I'm gonna skip the flattery and just move on with, in my formal capacity as Counselor of House Lalu, I give you my vote for the title of Hortator. And then he offers me a suggestion. I'm sure you could persuade Drambero to support you as Hortator if you can find him. Orvis Dren has 2 people in his pocket. You might want to take a little trip to the Dren plantation before speaking with them, and then there's Yngling Half-Troll. Half-Troll is a foreigner like me, but he simply doesn't understand the Dunmer like I do. If you were to dispose of him, the other counselors would not be upset. If you kill any of the rest of us, of course, it is a different story. He lives in Yngling Manor in the St. Ohm's Canton. Okay. Guess I could ask him about the other ones. Right. Let us proceed. But yeah, once we've done House Lalu, we will have finished the part of the campaign where we need to prove ourselves. After that, we're going to be taking, well, more direct action against the 6th house. That's a traitor. I'm guessing it was St. Ohm's Canton then. Luckily, right next door.
Praise.
Right, here's Yngling Manor.
Ah, you bring good fortune with you. Ah, you bring good fortune with you. Welcome.
Make me the Lalu Hortator. He says he wants 1,000 drakes for his vote. Okay.
Fool.
Was that it? I guess so. Yngling Half-Troll told me he wouldn't name me Hortator without a bribe of 1,000 gold. I have killed the Lalu counselor, Yngling Half-Troll. So that is a way to solve the quest. You have found me, and that means you are resourceful. Yes, I will vote for you as Hortator, but my vote alone means nothing. Yngling is a fool. You may bribe or kill him. Crassus Curio is a man of passion and can be manipulated. But Velanda and Nivana are Orvis Dren's creatures. They will do nothing without his approval. He's right about that.
I don't know where to begin.
In case you were wondering about my reaction to the other character there, he was a part of the becoming the leader of House Lalu quest. We had to do his quest in order to, or rather we had to defeat him in a duel. He was talking about a rematch, which I see no point of, because I could kill him without any issues. There's this mod I use, Project Atlas, which adjusts sort of the hitbox of a lot of things. And a lot of mods recommend it, and to me it's a bit more questionable than that. Just for the fact that without it, I don't seem to fall through the floors all the time like I do now. But that's one of those things where, I mean, sure, you could uninstall it, but doing so in the middle of a run is not very smart. Oh, hi, Orbistren. He basically just says, yeah, you have my support because you've already blackmailed me into compliance anyway. I guess we should go back to Crassus. Because the Pope will only speak to me once I've been officially named everything I need to be named.
I don't know where to begin. It is such an honor to meet you.
We are blessed. Truly blessed. May you
I
find
don't know where to begin.
worthy
It is such an honor to meet
People fawn over you so much in the later parts of this game.
Well met.
And it seems like I have to get the support of everyone. A little bit frustrating since, you know, if I can already blackmail them into supporting me, then is it really necessary for me to go over there? Like, at that point, this is basically homework in terms of not being very interesting. Oh well. Even Ules and Willando Mani. Those are the people I would need support from. Right. This is where the person in Suran would be.
searching for special tools. My prices are the best.
And he was not the person I needed to speak to. Shit. Alright, so Ules would be... I think that's one of the people I need to see, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Ules Manor. It's a very empty manor. I've just heard the news, Diomedes. Congratulations on your negotiations with Orvis Dren. What can I do for one as influential as yourself? Name me Hortator. Oh, yes, Sir Diomedes, the Hortator thing, right? They said if I knew what was good for me, I would do as you ask, so, you want to be Hortator? I make you a Hortator. I vote for you. That's all I have to do, right? Once the councilors agree, you should see Crest Curio. Right. Velanda Omani. So I guess I did need to speak to him. I just have to be sure. This guy should be amusing. Oh, he's just a dreamer, is he? Surprising to find him in town. Guessing this is the guy I was thinking of. Yep.
I am never too
Elvil
busy
Vidron.
for a good talk.
This guy is part of a temple quest. He is a person who claims to be the Nerevarine, and you can tell he's right because he doesn't own a shirt. Wants to be the savior of mankind, cannot afford shirt. House of Troubles. This is Oran Manor. And we need to get... Oh, I see my mistake now. Omani and Oran, those are different words. As I'm sure many people will agree. So, where would that person actually be? And the thing is, the book doesn't actually tell you the location that I can see. Oh. I keep being wrong about things. I remember where she's at now. I guess one reason that I'm largely not remembering this is just for... You know, this is essentially to show up at a minor character's house and, you know, get them to, you know, just rubber stamp me as the savior. It's such a minor part of this that I think if you forget it every single run that you've ever done it, you are probably having the most common reaction to all that. Omani Manor. I actually do have a memory of this place. Mainly not remembering how the fuck to find it.
I don't know where to begin. It is such an honor to meet you.
They practiced that. Yes, of course, Diomedes, whatever you want. Yes, of course, you wish to be named Hortator of House Lalu? No sooner said than done. You will, of course, need to receive confirmation from the other counselors, but I have every confidence in your ability to persuade them. Once they agree, speak with Curio again. He will give you the belt of the Hortator. Neat. Once we've finally finished this particular quest line, I think I'm gonna pause the main quest for a while and go do something a little more dynamic. Like, for instance, the temple might be interesting, just, it has a lot of, how do I put it? some quest variation. Essentially, doing good deeds tends to be a lot of it, and then there's the occasional. Here's a sacred artifact. Over here is like a den of the most powerful enemies in the game. Go and kill them, please. It's just, if you then go to someone else, they'll be like, oh yeah,
I
here's a
don't know where
potion,
to
go
begin.
deliver it.
It is such an honor to meet.
So there's plenty of range.
Greetings to you.
There's someone
A pleasure to meet you.
I can tell.
All the counselors agree. Splendid. I'm so happy for you. What an honor. But no more than you deserve, Pumpkin. And now I have a little treat for you. It's a belt given to the Hortator of House Aloud. Just snogging around that supple little waist. Now, I know you have important things to do, but don't be a stranger. Don't neglect poor, lonely Uncle Crassius, your devoted admirer. Fucking hell, man. You know, that's a fairly popular mod that just changes this guy so that he cannot be, you know, kind of a creepy sex pest towards you. We're now up to 50 reputation.
We are.
3 gone.
So, you might be thinking, what next? Well, let me just double check here. So I'm a little unsure of these next steps we ought to take. Because, like, the obvious thing is to go to the Pope. But I'm also curious what Nibani Mesa might say to me. I'll tell you what, I'll go up here, I'll set a, I'll set a mark here. I'll go back to my mansion and drop off the things I've accumulated. Then we'll travel up to Nibani Mesa, and if she doesn't have anything to say, we'll teleport back here. And finally be made the anointed savior figure of this entire island. I guess it's a district, but yeah. And now I am soggy. Travel to Balmora.
Where would you like to go?
To Ulrun. To Morgan.
Why walk when you can run?
To Cool.
We make a special trip just for
Quick
you.
save.
Say low price.
Activating jump ring. I forgot to drop off my things, didn't I? I am very smart. I guess I'll drop them off at Nibani Mesa's. That's, tends to be, you know, you can drop your things everywhere, but, it's best to put them in places that have some kind of plot significance. And Nibani Mesa is definitely a sufficiently pivotal character that it can make sense. As I have clearly thought before. Extravagant clothes, jewelry, belt of the Hortator, ring of the Hortator, slippers, jink blade, book. Back down to 0.
May you find me worthy of your attention.
I have fulfilled the 4th trial. 5th trial, if I can find it.
A warm welcome to you.
You might be wondering why I'm loading that save. I've triggered the thing where you basically get the shortcut.
Welcome, friend. We extend you our warm regard.
We are here to discuss the temple doctrine on the Nerevarine, Diomedes. The temple must protect the people from false doctrines, and your association with Imperial intelligence makes your motives and integrity suspect. But you have been chosen Hortator and Nerevarine by the Dunmer people, and we have reached a crisis with Dagath-Ur. We can no longer defend the people against the awakened 6th house. You and your prophecies may represent our last hope. Our situation is desperate, but I would rather have you hear the details of our situation and the circumstances leading up to that situation from Lord Vivek himself. He has asked to see you. Would you agree to a private meeting with him and hear in person what he has to say? Yes. Good. Here are 2 keys. One to the private back entrance to my quarters, the other to a locked entrance to Lord Vivek's palace. I regret that at present the Ordinators are not completely under my control, so for now I will ask you to avoid confrontations with them. Lord Vivek is expecting you. His lordship is remarkably patient, but perhaps it would be better not to keep him waiting. Interesting. Does he have anything unique to say about the Nerevarine? Nope. Well, guys, we're gonna be going to the place that we've been aware of, I suppose, since the very first episode of this game. I do hope you will forgive me if I take a sip of water now and then, because this is going to be quite the series of conversations. Yeah, this place looks a little bit plain. Do you notice me? We have business, you and I, is what he says. When I was young like you, I was very impatient, so I will keep our business short. Then later, there might be time for other things. First, I propose to remove my curse upon the Nerevarine, end the persecution of the dissident priests, and proclaim to all Morrowind that Diomedes is the incarnate Nerevarine, the prophesied savior of Morrowind, and the last hope to withstand the menace of Dagath-Ur in the 6th house. These things I will do whether you wish or not. Next, I propose to surrender to you the power and responsibility of defeating Dagath-Ur. You may choose to refuse, I will not compel you. You will receive the power as a gift in the form of an artifact called Wreath Guard. You may accept the gift, then do with it as you will. You will receive the responsibility as an oath. You may give your oath, Then keep it or break it as you like. First, will you accept Wreath Guard as a gift? Yes. Good. Sensible of you. And now, will you give me your oath before all gods and men, before the spirits visible and invisible, before my honor and your honor, to dedicate yourself and Wreath Guard to the defeat and destruction of Dagath-Ur and the preservation of Morrowind and its people? Yes, I so swear. Not very sensible, but very good. I was hoping for someone who would have no hesitations about making such an oath. You will now have a brief, momentary sensation of time passing. Don't be alarmed. You are being taken out of time in order to avoid the unpleasant experience of learning how to use Wreath Guard. It will be over before there's a brief sensation of motion in total darkness, floating but without the sense of weight or direction. You know it. Now I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope that both sides will be swiftly reconciled. We have time for questions if you like, or you may leave as you wish. But I think there are at least two things you ought to know before you leave: how to use Wreath Guard and how to defeat Dagath-Ur. Hello, hello. Let's see if I can pronounce this name correctly. Namira, the sorcerer. Welcome to the stream. Yes, you have happened upon me at a rather pivotal moment in the campaign. I was just about to learn how to defeat Dagath-Ur, which, yeah, that will be pertinent information. I'm reading out the dialogue for everything that seems important, and, yeah, the things Vivek will tell me will be important. So, to defeat Dagath-Ur, go to Red Mountain to recover the artifact Hammer Sunder from Gate Citadel Viminal. Then recover the artifact Blade Keening from Gate Citadel Odrisol. Then proceed with Wreath Guard, Sunder, and Keening to the Citadel of Dagath-Ur. Within the Citadel, find the Heart of Lorkhan. Use the 3 artifacts to sever Dagath-Ur's connection to the heart, and he will be destroyed, and the blight ended on Morrowind. To destroy Dagath-Ur, you must sever his connection with the Heart of Lorkhan. To do this, strike the heart with the Hammer Sunder once, then strike the heart more than once with the artifact Blade Keening. You must wear Wreath Guard, because you cannot handle either Sunder or Keening unless you are wearing Wreath Guard. That is a short, simple explanation. Here is the long, detailed explanation, written down for your convenience. Read it, study it, commit it to memory. I'm probably not going to be committing it to memory, but thankfully I've played this game before, so quite like the way he's just peeking over the conversation screen. But enough of that. Tell me about Red Mountain. In my library, I've made available 2 conflicting accounts of the events of Red Mountain. My own true account and another false account common among the Ashlanders, and preserved in the Apocrypha. I don't care whether you believe in my account or not. I leave it up to you to judge which is true. Turns out that, well, maybe I shouldn't reveal that just yet. Tell me about Dagath-Ur. Dagath-Ur is the former Lord High Counselor of House Dagoth. He was of Lord Nerevar's generation, older than we, and a mighty sorcerer and enchanted in life. In his sustained shadow, immorality, in his sustained shadow immorality, he appears to be a highly intelligent, severely deluded, immortal monster with unparalleled supernatural abilities. He appears by turns lucid and deranged, compassionate and bestial, profoundly wise and profoundly disordered. In short, he is a mad god. Plenty of those around these days. Tell me about your library. I want your trust and willing cooperation, so I've had the priests make copies of a number of documents. They're here for you to read or take with you. Take a look at them. Help yourself. Alright. Questions. You are curious what really happened at Red Mountain? What really happened to the Dwemer? What was the Dwemer's sin? What is it like to be a god? Do I remember being mortal? How do I feel about the people of Morrowind? What happened to the Dwemer? I have no idea. I have no sense of them in the timeless divine world outside mortal time. And in fact, if I did believe they existed, I would be in no hurry to make contact with them. They may, with some justice, hold the Dunmer race responsible for their fate. My intuition is that they are gone forever, and that is perfectly fine with me. I guess he didn't like them. I suppose gods would have issues with atheist cultures. What was their sin? The sin of the Dwemer was the creation of a new god from the substance of a dead god, Borchan. That is also the sin for which we would destroy Dagath-ur. I hesitate to call it sin. More properly, call it destructive evil. The sin of the tribunal, however, is in the breaking of an oath to Azura to forbear from tapping the heart with Kakrenek's tools, and in the folly of seeking to become gods. Breaking the oath was evil. Becoming gods was folly. If we sinned, we have paid the price. Yep, that's easy for you to say, I feel like. What's it like to be a god? It is like being a juggler. Things always moving, and you learn to know where they are without even thinking about it. Only there are many, many things moving, and sometimes, like any juggler, you drop something. I'm afraid it has become a lot more a matter of dropping things lately. There's too much to do and not enough time, and I'm losing my touch. Perhaps I'm growing old. It is a bit like being at once awake and asleep. Awake, I am here with you, thinking and talking. Asleep, I am very, very busy. Perhaps for other gods, the completely immortal ones, it is only like that being asleep. Out of time. Me, I exist at once inside of time and outside of it. It's night never being dead too. When I die in the world of time, then I'm completely asleep. I'm very much aware that all I have to do is choose to wake, and I'm alive again. Many times I have very deliberately tried to wait patiently, a very long, long time before choosing to wake up. And no matter how long it feels like I wait, it always appears when I wake up that no time has passed at all. That is the God place, the place out of time where everything is always happening all at once. Do you remember being mortal? I remember. I do not feel it. I can, if I choose, remember the feeling, but I do not choose. It is very, very sad being mortal. There is happiness, yes, but mostly sadness. As I have said, count only the happy hours. For mortals, they are all too few, but for gods, for me, there is no more feeling, only knowing. Not quite no more feeling. I still want to win. I want to defeat Dagath-ur. Perhaps I've lost the feeling for the people, for their suffering. I don't want that feeling. It is no use to me. That is no longer what matters to me. I only want to not lose. To lose would be very, very bitter. How do you feel about the people of Morrowind? I love the people of Morrowind. I became a god to make their lives more comfortable and secure. I am most close to my faithful followers. I am literally in their hearts and minds. I feel the most sympathy with House Redoran. They are Dunmer driven by creeds and deeds, like I am. House Indoril is closer to the compassion and sympathy of Almalexia, a comfortable and secure serenity. House Telvanni matches the disposition of my brothers Sotha Sil, iconoclastic, profane, unconventional. House Lalu represents the future of the Dunmer, integrated into the sophisticated mainstream of the traditionalist, raceless, godless culture of the Empire. House Drez represents the past of pre-tribunal Great House culture, a persistent tradition of Daedra and ancestor-worshipping civilized Dunmer clans. And I even love the Ashlanders for their preservation of the most ancient barbarian tribal traditions of the Dunmer who first settled Morrowind. Do you have any counsel? You need to know, where is Dagathor? What are his plans? Who are his servants? Who is Dagathor? What are Dagathor's powers? What is known about his defenses? How can I prepare for the battle? Who can help? I did warn you all there would be reading, and this is definitely reading. Dagathor has never ventured out of the Heart Chamber, the place under Red Mountain where the heart of Lorkhan lies. It is there, or nearby, that he is constructing a new god, Akulachan, also known as the Second Numidium. Some of you might remember, the Numidium is effectively like a titan from Warhammer 40k. A gigantic battle mech type thing. In this setting, it is what Typer Septim used to conquer the continent. What are Dagathor's plans? We know nothing for sure, but we have learned much from interrogating the cultists and victims of dream compulsions, and from our study of his actions. The Temple Scholars and Inquisitors have prepared a document, Dagathor's plans, that summarizes what we know or suspect. Take this copy. It's also available in my library. I'm gonna do his conversations, then we'll look at the documents, but I will be reading them and trying to summarize it if it's stuff that he's already covered. We've done the plans. What are his defenses? Confer with the Ordinators and Bouillon Armiger's garrisoning Ghostgate for the latest information about the defenses and his heart-white kin. What are his powers? He is able to send his mind into the dreams of susceptible victims across vast distances. The victims are either swayed by his compulsions or driven mad. He also seems nearly invulnerable to physical and magical harm. His flesh, and the flesh of his followers, evolves towards a mutable magic form. Dagathor in his highest ranks can control the distorted manifestations of their flesh. Lower ranks lose control of their bodies and become mindless corpus monsters. Tell me about his servants. Chief among his servants are his 7 brothers, the Ash Vampires, powerful Heartwights and cunning sorcerers of old. These creatures appear to die, but are always revived at the heart. Somehow Dagathor has conferred some portion of his immortality upon them, or perhaps they sustain themselves through more conventional sorcery. How should I prepare? Prepare for war. Beyond the Ghost Fens there are no safe places, no allies. stockpile resources, plan for retreat and replenishment, quest for artifacts of power. We will be doing that. Who can help? Ordinators and bouillon almechers stationed at Ghostgate have the most practical knowledge of the nightmare world inside the ghost fence. Seek them in my name for counsel and aid. Any business? Actually, I believe we've finished our business. I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution, and I hope both sides shall be swiftly reconciled. Now you are my guest, I am your host, and we have times for explanations, or counsel, or questions, or bitter recriminations if you like. Or you may leave, if you wish, as you wish. But I think before you leave, you should hear how to defeat Dagath-ur. Didn't we cover that? Yeah. Explanations. I know, I'm doing it all at once, basically, because, well... once we're done with this, I'm probably gonna, pause the main quest for a little while to go find some artifacts. I really want to do the temple quest line because, as I understand it, a lot of people haven't seen that, and as I've hinted at, the quest line will also point you in the directions of some very useful artifacts, especially for my character. So, explanations. You want to know why did I wage war on the Nerevarine, or try to suppress the Apocrypha, or persecute the dissident priests? Why is Dagath-ur winning? How does the tribunal fight Dagath-ur? What are Wreath Guard's powers? Why did you wage the war? Why did I try to kill you? Because you threatened the faith of my followers, and I needed their faith to hold back the darkness. And I thought you were my enemy, a pawn of the subtle Daedra Lord Azura, or a pawn of the Emperor Uriel Septim, or a simple fraud. Perhaps a hero. But not much of one if my faithful could destroy you. Now circumstances are altered. I need you, and you need me. Why did you suppress the Apocrypha, the hidden texts? Because it was such an unfortunate mixture of truth, falsehood, and speculation that I couldn't afford to manage the confused reaction of our faithful. Any doubt whatsoever weakened their faith, and we needed their faith to give us the power to maintain the ghost fence. In retrospect, perhaps we lost the faith of those we most needed while preserving the faith of the meek and indifferent. Perhaps a mistake was made. Who can say? Well, the apocalypse is imminent, so maybe some mistakes were made. Just my proposal. Pure speculation, though, I know. Why'd you persecute people? Suppression and persecution of dissent is just one of the standard tools of statecraft. I believe we erred in trusting the judgment of Beryl Salah. He and the Ordinator served valiantly in the war against Dagath-ur. We mistook his misplaced zeal for energy and dedication. Mistakes were made, but no more. There should be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall be swiftly reconciled. Fair enough. Why is Dagath-ur winning? Because he is close to the source of power, Lorkhan's heart, and because he retains the passion of madness while we have settled into the lonely and unrewarding posture of dogged faithfulness and perseverance. And finally, perhaps because he is stronger and smarter than we are, and his followers are more fervent and fanatical. I believe we were careless and complacent and outwitted. And in the matter of denying the Nerevarine, we were foolish. Bitter recriminations. You want to chide me? Why did I murder Nerevar? Why did I break my oath? to Azura not to use Kakronek's tools? Why did I cause others to suffer? We did not murder Nerevar. Bullshit. The legend that we murdered Nerevar comes from a story told by a shield companion to Nerevar, Alandro Sul, who lived among the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders have retained some of Alandro Sul's account as part of their oral histories. The account is persuasive in some details, implausible in others, and is in any case false. I have 2 accounts of Nerevar's death here in my library. Read them and judge for yourself. If you want to see this guy's confession to having murdered Nerevar, I think the way you do it is you take the first letter of every chapter of the, or every paragraph of the 36 Lessons of Vivek. It spells out foul murder. I break my oath. Along with Lord Nerevar, and at his insistence, Almalexia, Sothasil, and I swore before our god oaths at the time. The Daedra Lord Azura, never to employ the tools of Kakronek for any purpose. We broke our oaths, we turned our backs on the old gods. I still see no compelling reason to worship any of the Daedra or Aedra. But for the respect I hold for Nerevar and the respect I held for myself, I should never have betrayed my oath. Of all my life's actions, I most regret that failure. Why did you hurt people? Why did I cause others to suffer? I respect that question, and you for it. The most I can say is, I did the best I could, as I saw things. Can you, mortal, presume to judge the actions and motives of a god? But because I need you and you need me, I will make an accounting for my sins to you. But not now. Destroy Dagath Ur, and then we will discuss my sins. Then, perhaps, you will have earned the right to judge me. How does the tribunal fight Dagath Ur? In the past, the tribunal made seasonal campaigns to Red Mountain. We slew Dagath Ur and his kin, though the heart always revived them in time. Later, when we realized we couldn't destroy them, we created a ghost fence to contain the threat. These solutions were effective until Dagath Ur ambushed us and captured Sunder and Keeling. Since that time, our fortunes have waned as his increased. This particular thing I should probably mention is that they, as I recall, that was 50 years ago. So, yeah, effectively they've lost the tools for 50 years, and that's why everything has gone to hell. That is why the Dunmer fortresses and the Daedric ruins have been abandoned when they used to be occupied by soldiers. Tell me of Wreath Guard's powers. Wreath Guard's primary function is to protect the wearer from the fatal energies of the artifacts Sunder and Keening. It also has minor protective enchantments against physical and magical damage that you may find useful. Alright, that's finally it. Now I can read all the crap he gave me in my inventory. Oh my. What is Dagath Ur's plans? I'm just going to be skimming this, and if there's any major stuff here, I will read it out, but have mercy, I just read a bunch. This just talks about where they got this from interrogations of Sixth House people and interviews with Vivek. I guess I should read this bit out. So, objective number 1. Dagoth Ur wants to establish a theocracy in Morrowind based on the worship of the newborn god Akulakan, the second Numidium, to be created by Dagoth Ur from the heart of Lorkhan, and a body constructed according to the principles and rituals pioneered by the Dwemer Kagranak. He wants to establish the ancient heirs of House Dagoth as the god priests of Akulakan, and the Sixth House of Dagoth Ur as the dominant political power in Morrowind. Through charismatic conversion, unite the Dunmer under the guidance of Dagoth Ur to battle against the foreign animals who hold Morrowind in subjugation. Note, Dagoth Ur appears to have adopted the views and motivations of the Dwemer High Craft Lord Kagranak. In effect, he recapitulates the ancient blasphemous folly of the Dwemer. Objective number 2. Expose the false worship of the tribunal and destroy the ecclesiastical authority and political power of the temple. How much of the dissident priests or the cult of the Nerevarine may be controlled or influenced by the Sixth House in this regard is open to speculation, as is just about everything. Objective 3. Extirpate all remaining individuals of, quote, inferior and mongrel races from Morrowind, unquote. 4. Drive the Empire from Morrowind. 5. Recover ancient territories stolen by Skyrim and Argonia. 6. Extend the worship of the Akulakan to all nations of Tamriel through subversion and conquest. Plans to establish and expand the Sixth House. Phase 1. Secure Red Mountain against tribunal intruders. Deny tribunal access to the Heart, weakening the temple while securing Red Mountain for the creation of the Akulakan. Keep the construction of the second Numidium a secret. Phase 2. Create passive servants in an ever-widening circle around Red Mountain by broadcasting compulsions couched in dream imagery to susceptible subjects in their sleep. Establish a major operational base at Coggeron for further operations in the Ash Wastes. Establish smaller bases near the small port villages and lower-class waterfront districts in Vivek. Infiltrate and subvert smuggling syndicates. Recruit willing followers from the disaffected populations, including the underworld, the poor, and rabid anti-imperial activists. The sort of, how do I put it? Fanatics usually end up being used by others. Phase 3. Expand smaller bases to other towns and villages, and recruit and indoctrinate subjects made susceptible by dream sendings. Occupy abandoned towers and ruins, and train corrupted cultists as raiders and irregular troops. Identify, discredit, and decimate possible sources of political resistance. Phase 4. Use assassination and terror to weaken, distract, and disrupt the legions and the imperial bureaucracy, along with their Lalu sympathizers. Inspire popular uprisings in the native poor against the foreign rich and powerful. Summon sleepers and dreamers to Dagoth Ur to work on the second Numidium. Inferring Dagoth Ur's perspectives. Dagoth Ur thinks on a large timescale, for the most part. In the outside of time scale of the divine consciousness, he thinks that only obstacles of mythic scale are worth consideration. He believes he is fated to rule Morrowind, to free Morrowind of the Empire, and to become the new hard-lumming father of Morrowind. Given that perspective, the only opposing forces Dagoth Ur worries about are the Tribunal, the Daedra, the Emperor, and the Incarnate. And sadly, I'm the only part of that quartet that will actually, you know, show up and actually do stuff about all this. With the Tribunal's loss of Sunder and Keening, and with the diminishing resources of Vivek, Almalexia, and Sothasil, Dagathor believes that he has permanently gained a decisive strategic advantage. On a mortal timescale, the battle may last for centuries, but the outcome is not in doubt, and Akula Khan may be a device for dramatically reducing the timescale for a decisive victory. The myth of dynamic invincibility of the Emperor and the Empire has long been an unquantifiable and intimidating threat, but recent rumors of unrest in Citadel and of the Emperor's failing health, and the unsettled question of the succession, have diminished the scale of that threat. Nevertheless, the revelation that the Nerevarine is a pawn of Imperial intelligence, handpicked and sent to Morrowind by the Emperor himself, may cause Dagath-Ur considerable anxiety. So I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm gonna need a very short break while I blow my nose and just refill my bottle of water here. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alright, that should hopefully keep me going for a little while yet. Right. The Daedra represent no coherent obstacle to Dagath-Ur. Nonetheless, their personal abilities and their influence upon their fanatical followers is considerable. Their motives and actions are obscure, and Dagath-Ur remains concerned about them. The Incarnate represents Saint Nerevar, a mythic force that has previously defeated Dagath-Ur, and Dagath-Ur is obsessed with this new threat. At the same time, Dagath-Ur knew Nerevar personally, knew that he was a mortal man with faults and weaknesses. Dagath-Ur may have some hope of seducing or negotiating with Nerevar's reincarnation. Further, when Nerevar and the Tribunal defeated Dagath-Ur, they were strong and allied. Now the Nerevarine and the Tribunal are weak, opposed, and divided. Therefore, though the Nerevarine and the Tribunal represent the most serious threat to Dagath-Ur's plans, he still has good reason to believe that this time he will prevail. This is a time scale. I'm just gonna be skimming it, and if it's like gonna mention anything relevant, I'll let you know. So the tribunal have been feuding with Dagath-ur for, well, I'm assuming this means centuries. Third era 417. Alexia and Sothasil lose the artifacts Keening and Sunder to Dagath Odros and Veman. Vivek rescues Alexia and Sothasil, but failing to recover Keening and Sunder, the tribunal retreat from Red Mountain in disorder. Surviving Boyan Amaja companions know the tribunal was forced to retreat, but do not know how serious a reversal the tribunal has suffered. The three tribunes return to their respective capitals and continue to perform their ritual functions. The tribunes continue to grow weaker without access to the heart and because of the resources required to support the ghost fence. The inner circle of the temple priesthood has begun to suspect that the tribunes have suffered seriously from wounds and demoralizations in the wake of reverses at Red Mountain, but do not recognize the scale of the problem. See, 426 and 427, campaign of 6 Tao's assassinations of prominent Imperial citizens and Lalu Imperial sympathizers, sudden increase in number and seriousness of attacks by cultists and victims deranged by soul sickness. Let's see. Noted with concern, Dagath-ur can communicate with the cultists. And he can speak through them as well. And we have no idea how close the Akula Khan is to completion. And it has been perhaps over 1,000 years since the heart chamber was last entered. And it is possible that the Keening and Sunder being captured by Dagath-ur might be a huge help in building the thing. Okay, Wreath Guard's kind of badass. This is a constant effect. Shield 10 points on self, reflect 20% on self, resist blight disease 50%, shock fire, frost magic and poison 10%. And it's worth 500,000 septims on eBay. Neat. So what's this plan? This just talks about how they weren't actually able to put it into effect. Stage 1, a series of aggressive raids to scout inside the ghost fence. Stage 2, a series of aggressive raids to neutralize Dagath-ur's ash vampire kin and recover artifacts from the bodies of his kin. Phase 3, an assault of Gate Citadel Veminal to neutralize Dagath Veman and recover the artifact Hammer Sunder. Stage 4, an assault of Gate Citadel Odrosol to neutralize Dagath Odros and recover the artifact blade Keening. Stage 5, an assault of Citadel Dagoth with the artifacts Wreath Guard, Sunder, and Keening to sever Dagath-ur's connection to the heart of Lorkhan and thus to destroy Dagath-ur. This is just stating it in more detail, basically. It does remark on House Dagoth and their their nobility, their leadership has become a lot more powerful recently. And it also mentions something that is, well, it says maybe killing the ash vampires would weaken Dagathor, but that's not really implemented all that well in the game. It's supposed to take the strength of Dagathor down by a significant notch for every one of them that has been killed. But the problem is they couldn't really code that, and so the way it works is that only has an impact if you go to speak to him once before that you actually start this campaign. And yeah, effectively that is a requirement. Obviously, nearly no one is actually going to do that unless they know to do it. And so this basically has no real impact. This is some other interesting bits. It is essential to recover the Hammer Sunder for Phase 5. The Ash Vampire, Dagoth Venom, has possession of Sunder and probably seeks to discover the secrets of its enchantments. He may also have access to notebooks and journals of Kagranak that have survived in the Dwemer workshops of Verminal. There's an alternate way you can do the main quest in this game if you kill Vivek. Yes, really. And in order for that to even, like, halfway work, you have to make some pretty big leaps of logic. But you do find that, you know, if you search well enough, you'll find the last dwarf, and he will be able to help you to use Wreath Guard. But for that, you're gonna still need the tools, and you're also still gonna need, well, some books. Amongst them, the notebooks and journals of Kagranak. But I'm gonna be doing it in a traditional sense. Just the most obvious way to do it. Phase 4, Assault on the Gate Citadel Odrasol. Essential to recover the artifact blade Keening for Phase 5, the Ash Vampire Dagoth Odros has possession of Keening and probably seeks to discover the secrets of his enchantments. He will also have access to the notebooks and journals of Kakranak. This just warns you that the final dungeon will be badass, which, yeah, that's to be expected. The Tribunal was always in too much of a hurry to do this, step-by-step way of doing it. They did a frontal assault and failed, and it had disastrous consequences. But it mentions the Nerevarine should be best served by a careful step-by-step advance with the additional advantage of building confidence along the way, while successes would undermine Dagathor's own assurances and his defenses. And it makes sense, because like the Tribunal have to maintain the Ghost Fence, and you'd presume, being, you know, the divine rulers of an entire province, they would also be, have other stuff to keep them occupied. And, you know, who's gonna water the houseplants? Well, sadly, that means the Tribunal has to stay at home and water the houseplants, while I, a mortal, have to deal with this bullshit. Employing Kakranak's tools against Dagath-ur. The source of Dagath-ur's supernatural power is the heart of Lorkhan. The heart is also the source of the Tribunal's divine powers. This is the backstory to it. Basically, it was a heart of a great deity, and the dwarves messed around with it, and then they disappeared. This is the important bit of the plan. The one that makes this less of a, less cliche. You don't defeat the big bad. You instead have to do some things that will have serious consequences for the world. Our plan to destroy Dagath-ur also runs the risk of destroying the Tribunal. The plan is to permanently disrupt Kagranek's enchantments upon the heart, severing connections with Dagath-ur and ourselves, and rendering us all once again mortal. A mortal Dagath-ur may then be destroyed by mundane means. The loss of godhood and the possible death of the Tribunal are judged a necessary risk and sacrifice. I don't imagine willingly risking death is an easy thing for a deity. The normal procedure for establishing the connection with the heart is a 3-step process. And basically we don't get told the process. The Nerevarine will not be taught the secret rituals required to perform the 3rd step. Instead, the Nerevarine will strike the heart with keening for a 2nd time, causing its tones to diverge into unstable patterns of interference. Further repeated strikes with keening will further disrupt the tones, with the ultimate result of shattering and dispelling Kagranek's original enchantments biting the heart, thereby severing the heart's links with Dagath-ur and with any surviving heart lights, and with the Tribunal. Destroying Kagranek's enchantments on the heart will also stop the corrupt diffusion of the heart's divine power and end the blight on Morrowind. The Nerevarine may be tempted to steal the power of the heart. Dagath-ur and Sothasil alone know this secret. Dagath-ur may, in extremity, propose to teach the Nerevarine to use Kagranek's tools to become a god. We doubt that the Nerevarine is fool enough to trust Dagath-ur and are content to take this risk. Too bad, I guess. I really want it to be a deity. Yeah, if you equip the artifacts without Wreath Guard, you get killed. Dagath-ur must not get a hold of Wreath Guard. So this is the part of the plan that is most important. The element of surprise. Dagath-ur will not expect you to destroy Kagranek's enchantments of the heart. He does not know it is possible, he would not do it himself, and he knows we have never tried it. He will not believe anyone would want to sacrifice the promise of such power. Further, advancement in House Dagoth, as in all great houses, is by challenge and confrontation within the hierarchy. The Nerevarine's challenges and defeats of ash vampires and battles with the 6th house will be viewed in that light. Dagath-ur and his kin may assume that Nerevarine's ambition is to control the heart. Given that assumption, it is only reasonable that the Nerevarine would try to defeat each of Dagath-ur's subordinates in person, working up to Dagath-ur. If the Nerevarine can defeat Dagath-ur and control the heart, so much the better, but logically the Nerevarine would wish to rise as high in the hierarchy as possible before cutting a deal with the head of the house. Dagath-ur should try to recruit the Nerevarine into House Dagoth. It may be possible to pretend to join him, then betray him. However, any attempt to deceive him will be very risky. House Dagoth has a tradition of subterfuge and treachery, and because he is a deceiver, he will expect deception. Almost done. Closing remarks. We place no compulsion upon the Nerevarine to adhere to the plans described here. We believe they offer the best chance of destroying Dagath-ur, but we also have chosen to place our trust in the Nerevarines' judgment and skill. Frankly, we see no alternative. If there are doubts or questions, speak with Vivek. He has agreed to serve as the Nerevarines' guide and counselor for this campaign. That's cool. I already have Nibani Mesa. It may be that if the Nerevarine succeeds, the Tribunal will not survive. Such sentiments have been expressed to the Tribunal should In that case, be addressed to the land and people of Morrowind. Not sure what's going on in the hallway. I guess people are moving stuff. It may be that if the Nerevarine succeeds, the tribunal will... No. Excuse me. May the happy convergence of fortune and prayer meet in our destiny. On behalf of Lady Almalexia and Sothasil, Vivek. So, I'm gonna read the Battle of Red Mountain another time. Thank Christ that's over with. That was a bit much. Right. So what are we doing now?
How wonderful.
I am blessed to be at your service, Outlander. May you find me worthy of your attention.
I have heard that Lord Vivek and you have spoken, and now it appears that the temple and the dissident priests shall be reconciled, and that we shall all be working together towards a common end. It is more than I could have hoped. Still not quite sure what's going on out there. I'm gonna have to check real quick if, well, there shouldn't be any, like, construction planned, so I'm hoping that doesn't, become an issue. Anyway. I've heard you and Lord Vivek have spoken, and now it appears that the temple and the dissident priests shall be reconciled, and that we shall all be working together towards a common end. It's more than I could have hoped. We've heard the proclamation. Vivek has removed his curse upon the Nerevarine and has ended the persecution of the dissident priests. Vivek has acknowledged you as the incarnate and Nerevarine, the prophesied savior of Morrowind, and the last hope to withstand the menace of Dagathur in the Sixth House. Isn't that great? Whew.
I am blessed to be at your service.
Does the Ordinator have anything rude to say to me? I guess not. Nothing unique at any rate. I can't help my curiosity. I'm just gonna go and speak to the Duke and see if he has anything to say about current events.
Greetings.
May you
is someone
find me
watching.
worthy
I
of
can
your
tell.
attention.
The Archcanon has announced that Lord Vivek has selected you as the champion of the temple in the war against Dagath-Ur in the 6th house. Now the fate of Morrowind and its people lie in your hands. We've grown too complacent about the threat of Dagath-Ur and Red Mountain. For ages we have relied on the Tribunal to contain the menace, but Dagathor's power is waxing as the Tribunal's power is waning. The Legion garrisons here are insufficient to protect our settlements, and there's no hope for reinforcements. Our people have always relied on a charismatic leader to rally squabbling factions against a common foe. You are that leader. Now we must rely on you. What's your job? Unemployed. Oh, and he's a duke. Right then. Can I not? Not sure why I'm moving slowly. What to do, what to do. Well, I actually have an idea. I'm gonna go back home and take a nap. Because what else are you gonna do when you've just been named the Messiah? Hi.
Where would you like to go?
Between all that reading, it's good to get out and just jump everywhere. Time to get some sleep. You are awakened by a loud noise. I'm just gonna, get out my loud noise, Tanto.
I have you.
Do you? Well, we have Dark Brotherhood armor. Bit of a giveaway. And an adamantium blade. That's a bit unusual. I'm just gonna make sure that there's no more ninjas. An attempt was made on my life as I tried to rest. I do not know who wishes me dead, but the attack should probably report it to a guard. That seems like a good idea. But I should probably leave the armor. In case I have any new viewers, the major part of my strategy in this game is to keep my armor and the stuff I carry at a minimum. Wreath Guard, I think I'll just put it here. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So yeah, the Dark Brotherhood is a stable in the Elder Scrolls series, and effectively they're an illegal guild of assassins, and they're not very nice. Especially when they've decided to try to kill you.
A warm welcome to you.
You say you've been attacked by assassins? From your description, it sounds like the work of the Dark Brotherhood. I'm not sure who you angered, but stay away from me. I suppose this should be officially reported, though. Speak to Apelles Matthias and Ebenhard about this matter. Excuse me. Got jump ring and, well, we don't need to use it.
Why walk when you can... Yes, Outlander. How do you do?
To Ebenhard. That's him. What's this about the Dark Brotherhood? You say you've been attacked by them? The fact that you're standing here seems to suggest otherwise. Perhaps you've been attacked? That's bad business. I don't know who it is who wants you dead, and I don't want to know. The Dark Brotherhood activity here in Vardenfell is almost unheard of. But I know they have a large contingent back on the mainland. Yes, in Mournhold itself, actually. If you're feeling particularly suicidal, you could check it out for yourself. Of course, it's not easy to get there these days because of the Blight. Boats from Vardenfell are turned away immediately. There is one way you might get there, though. Speak with Essene Rain about transport to Mournhold. She might be able to help you out.
Keep moving.
Now, if memory serves, that should have, okay, that's her. Yeah, so she can send you to Mournhold. We're not gonna go there, though. But yeah, once you, report the Dark Brotherhood attack to this guy, that should stop them. The Dark Brotherhood attacks are supposed to be a prompt to go do the Tribunal expansion. And when it was originally released, it was supposed to be that, you know, you'd already finished Morrowind, obviously. So they never really thought too hard about, you know, when the Dark Brotherhood will attack you. And as it turns out, if you look in the files, they had to put in code to stop the Dark Brotherhood from attacking you before you had finished
We
making
make a
your
special
character.
trip just for you. Same low price. Why walk when you can...
But alas. I've been wanting to resume the temple for a while, so let's see if there's any quests for me there.
I have heard of you, Outlander. Feel free to peruse my goods.
I forget, where is it I'm supposed to get jobs from here? Alrune and Molag Mar.
Hail, friend. My fight is back.
That's nice, Galbadia. That's nice. Send me to Alrune.
How about sharing the wealth?
Okay, so my task. To belong to the temple is to practice compassion. Vivek often showed compassion to his enemies. You must show compassion by curing Balfim Gra Jusgaras, a Sheogorath worshipper in Malkasishi. Take this potion of Cure Blight. You can cure Balfim by giving her the potion, but it is expensive. I would prefer instead you learn a spell such as Realm's Gift and return the potion to me. Travel to Aldvelothi and head east, past the Daedric ruin of Ashamavia. Continue due east until you reach the mountains, then follow the trail south until you see another Daedric ruin. Be careful at Melkasishi, Diomedes. The followers of Sheogorath are unpredictable. Don't go further into the ruins than you must. Right. I think we should have to stop here. The construction in the hallway doesn't seem to be ending, so I really don't want to put you through that. But, you know, we've reached a fairly good stopping point, so hopefully we will be able to pick this up again soon, and yeah. Thanks to everyone watching, and until next time, I hope you all have a good one.